phone.
गुड इवनिंग। आज हम बात करेंगे चाइना एंट्रैप्ड बाय इटसेल्फ। उसके बाद आपका सवाल ले लूंगा, बहुत सवाल ऑलरेडी देख रहा हूं और इट गोइंग टू बी एन इंटरेस्टिंग इवनिंग। सबसे पहले बहुत लोगों ने मेरे से पूछा कि भाई आपका जो ग्राफिक्स कहाँ से लेके आते हो। मैं तो बिल्कुल मेड इन चाइना ग्राफिक्स नहीं है, बिल्कुल मेरा डाउट नहीं है। ठीक है, उनका ग्राफिक है ये। और ये ग्राफिक क्या बोलता है, यू नो दैट्स इंपॉर्टेंट। दैट द ड्रैगन जो छिपकली जैसा लग रहा है, ये यहाँ तो बिल्कुल छिपकली लग रहा है। उनका सेंस ऑफ कार्टूनिज्म आल्सो दैट पुअर is trying to go up. What has caught them behind? It's a middle income trap. They're caught. खुद बोल रहे हैं ये। You know, they say pictures convey 1,000 words. So why are we thinking China is a superpower? It's just a normal power. It's a power. It's just a normal power. Why am I focusing on China? I am focusing because it's our number one enemy. Let's have no doubt about it. As far as I'm concerned, it's my number one enemy. It's my national number one enemy. It's my job to dissect China. Okay, let's see how it has entrapped itself. Okay, that's the trick. You know, I saw this tweet by Lakshmi Shah, long tweet. He's based it on a Wall Street Journal article. What does it say? It's very interesting. He's put out about 4 tweets. He says China's factory gate prices continue to fall. There's disinflationary pressures, that means deflation. Producer price index गिर गया है 2.5% एक साल पहले, और 19 सक्सेसिव मंथ लगातार 1.5 साल से गिरे जा रहा है। चाइनीज टूरिस्ट पर्यटक कम खर्च कर रहे हैं और कम जा रहे हैं, ये भी है। कार सेल्स गिर रहा है 5.7 इन अप्रैल। फिगर्स आप पढ़ सकते हो। घर का बेचना खरीदना वो भी गिर रहा है। वो तो 45% गिर गया है एक साल से पहले। ठीक है, आप सोचो फिर ये देश जा कहां रहा है। ठीक है, ओके, फिर भी इट इज आवर जॉब टू एनालाइज दिस कंट्री। हम सबको पता है अभी चाइना इज ट्राइंग टू मेक EVs. They're overproducing EVs, cutting rates down and going and trying to flood everyone. दूसरे देशों में बेचो और उनका इंडस्ट्री कम बंद करो। कोई करने देगा? जब पता है उनका ये शी जिनपिंग महाशय का क्या है। यूएस ने क्या बोला है? यूएस टू क्वाड्रुपल टैरिफ्स ऑन चाइनीज इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स। और ये कहता है मेड इन चाइना में जो भी गुड्स आएंगे अगले हफ्ते तक ये टैरिफ बढ़ जाएंगे। ये वॉल स्ट्रीट जर्नल का अनाउंसमेंट है। ये आर्टिकल नहीं है, ये इतला है कि ये होने वाला है। अगर एक बार ये हो गया है, फिर इनका गाड़ियां कौन खरीदेगा? ये पहले कर देना चाहिए था। ओके, दिस ऑल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। पीपल से ओ चाइना हैज हैड टेक्नोलॉजी, ये वो, ऑल दैट नॉनसेंस। ओके, बट it's not so. But then this is South China Morning Post telling, confirming what Wall Street Journal is saying, that USA is going to hit China with tariffs. एक बार टैक्स बढ़ गया तो चाइना का जो सस्ता माल है महंगा हो जाएगा, कोई खरीदेगा नहीं, और चाइना अपना ईवी लेके घूम सकता है। तो जी जिनपिंग ना पूरा दुनिया घूम सकता है अपना ईवी लेके, बेचो बेचो बेचो, खरीदो खरीदो खरीदो, जो भी है, नथिंग गोना हैपन। और इन्होंने एक मास्टर प्लान बनाया चाइना वालों ने, कि पूरा इन्होंने जाके मेक्सिको ले गए, अपना फैक्ट्री लगा रहे हैं वहां। कि क्या है, दिस दिस नाफ्टा, नॉर्थ अमेरिकन फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट। उससे क्या है, वॉट एवर गुड्स आर मेड इन मेक्सिको कैन बी सोल्ड विदाउट टैक्स इन अमेरिका एंड वाइस वर्सा। फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट है किसी दो देश के बीच में, और ये नया नहीं है, पुराना है। तो इन्होंने क्या किया, जाके वहां फैक्ट्री लगाया ताकि ये मैक्सिकन फैक्ट्री बन जाए। अगर मैक्सिकन फैक्ट्री बन गया तो फिर इसके ऊपर टैरिफ नहीं होगा, फिर ये सस्ता माल वहां से बेचेंगे। तो अमेरिकन लोग जो है ना, वो चूड़ी तो नहीं पहने, उन्होंने बोल दिया अगर इसका ओरिजिन चाइना है तो इसके ऊपर लगेगा। ये तो अभी शुरुआत है, सोच अभी देखिए कहाँ क्या जाएगा आगे आगे के। सो आई मीन चाइना इज ट्राइंग चीप ट्रिक्स, दैट्स व्हाई इट्स ट्रैप्ड, राइट? चिपकली है, ड्रैगन नहीं है। ओके, नाउ समथिंग इंटरेस्टिंग हैपेंड। Xi Jinping went to France. Where all he went in Europe? He went to France, he went to Serbia or Hungary. उससे पहले the German Chancellor Scholz, he went to China. गया वहां, बात बूत किया वगैरह वगैरह। उसने बोला ट्रेड ये करो वो करो, चाइना ने उसको कुछ नहीं दिया। फिर ये आए फ्रांस, फ्रांस का प्रधानमंत्री ने भी इसको वाइन पिलाया, वो पिलाया, नाच दिखाया, सब कुछ दिखाया कि भाई कुछ हिलो। जी जिनपिंग हिला ही नहीं, एंड ही डंप कर रहा है चाइना यूरोप के अंदर गाड़ियां। अगर चाइना की गाड़ियां सस्ते रेट में अगर यूरोप में बिक गए तो यूरोप का पूरा अर्थव्यवस्था फट हो जाएगा। अगर इनका अर्थव्यवस्था डाउन हो गया तो फिर ये यूक्रेन को सपोर्ट नहीं कर पाएंगे। अगर यूक्रेन को सपोर्ट नहीं कर पाएंगे तो रशिया का जीत कायम। अगर रशिया का जीत कायम तो यूरोप का नष्ट भी कायम। ये कहानी है। और ये यूरोपियन यूनियन को कष्ट हो रहा है कि चाइना को आउट रखने के लिए। क्यों? क्योंकि दे आर ऑलरेडी ओवर इन्वेस्टेड इन चाइना, दे कांट पुल आउट। So it's an interesting thing. Let's see where it goes. What will he? Xi Jinping has been smart. He's gone to France, which is sitting on the wall, because यूक्रेन में कुछ भी हो फ्रांस से कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता, क्योंकि फ्रांस हटके है पीछे। पर फर्क पड़ता है जर्मनी को और ऊपर यूरोप में। ठीक है, तो will Xi Jinping be able to break the European, strength or the unity? That is the point which has to be seen. Why did he go to Serbia? Because he is with Serbia fully. Why did he go to Hungary? Hungary is part of EU, but it is completely oriented to China. And Hungary is the problem child of EU. So he went there. Usko pump lagao. Serbia in Europe, but it is not part of EU, but it is part of the Russian system. So they made a smart move, China. So the next thing to be seen is what will Europe do. But having said that, overall क्या होगा स्थिति? That's the point. चाइना का ओवरऑल क्या है? अमेरिका में तो there's going to be a wall. There's no doubt. Let's not have any doubts about it, right? America is very clear. They're going to raise tariffs. They're going to ensure that China can't sell their EVs. Their last hope is Europe. And Europe will come up with something, because otherwise it's their survival. But even if they can't, and some cars do get sold, it won't replace property which has gone down. It won't replace infrastructure which is of no use. It won't replace the infrastructure which is under construction, which China can't pull out. There are a lot of things which are in the pipeline where money is committed. They have to finish it. So लोग कुछ भी बोल सकते हैं, ईवी, न्यू एनर्जी, ये वो, अल्लाह चाइना विल डोमिनेट, वापस आ गया इकोनॉमिकली. एक्चुअली इकोनॉमिकली ज्यादा नहीं होगा फर्क, इनफैक्ट और नीचे जाएगा. क्योंकि ये बड़ा क्लियर है कि किसी देश का अर्थव्यवस्था एक हद के बाद अंदरूनी मामले के ऊपर निर्भर है. इंटरनल स्ट्रेंथ इज रिक्वायर्ड. दैट इज नॉट देयर इन चाइना. विल कम टू दैट. Okay, what does this say? This is again a very interesting thing. In the tech war, everyone thinks China is ahead. Everyone, people say, oh, in all the latest technologies, China is far ahead of the game. It's not. Semiconductors in this report, again, this is all from South China Morning Post. It says, advanced chip making, USA is going to be far ahead of the game by 2032. He says, look at the words he's used. US to dwarf China in advanced chip making capacity by 2032. This is their report. Okay. And then US has done something very smart. It has put Taiwan, 3 years back as an observer in the World Health Authority, as observer status. Now, that observer status actually violates the one China principle. Really speaking, Taiwan should not have got, उसको वो दर्जा मिलना नहीं चाहिए था कि ऑब्जर्वर स्टेटस. ऑब्जर्वर स्टेटस एक देश को देते. चाइना के मुताबिक ताइवान देश नहीं है, वो उनका हिस्सा है. पर अगर ताइवान जाके ऐसे इंटरनेशनल बॉडीज में ऑब्जर्वर स्टेटस मिल गया और जाके बैठ गया ताइवान का कार्ड लेके, फिर तो ये वन चाइना प्रिंसिपल टप हो गया ना. ऐसे 2-4 और जगह हो गया तो ये वन चाइना प्रिंसिपल क्या है कि ये डाइल्यूट हो जाएगा. वैसे भी हमारे बहुत देश हैं जो, जैसे इंडिया है, वन चाइना प्रिंसिपल को मानता नहीं. उन्हें हमने कहा 10 साल हो गया, अभी डाउन कर दिया उसको. तो ये धीरे धीरे घटेगा. इट इज एरोजन. सो समथिंग इज स्टार्टिंग. हम सोचते हैं कि कुछ हो नहीं रहा, पर ये धीरे धीरे शुरू हो रहा है. राइट. ओके. देन चाइना कोशिश कर रहा है कि भाई इन्वेस्टमेंट वाले आओ, कोई नहीं आता. सब देख रहे हैं कि भाई चाइना का क्या हालत होगा. और चाइना का क्या हालत होगा, इट्स नॉट देयर मार्केट के डाउन है, इट्स नॉट कि इनका प्रॉपर्टी सेक्टर डाउन है, उनका नीयत नहीं है. नीयत नहीं है. और ये नीयत के ऊपर है देश चलता है. देश जो है नीयत के ऊपर चलता है, और उसके बारे में अभी बात करूंगा मैं. ओके. ये कहानी देखिए. कहता है चाइना पॉलिट ब्यूरो वार्न्स ऑफ इकोनॉमिक रिस्क्स एज कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी रेडीज फॉर थर्ड प्लेनम. So the Politburo is one level. You see, after all, president, standing committee of the Politburo, तीसरा लेवल है. ये 25 लोग होते हैं. उन्होंने बोल दिया कि इकोनॉमिक क्राइसिस है, इकोनॉमिक रिस्क है, और इनका थर्ड प्लेनम अभी जुलाई में होने वाला है, अक्टूबर में होने वाला था. What is this third plenum all about? There are 7 plenums. In each plenum, ये एक सब्जेक्ट लेते हैं, उसको डिस्कस करते हैं कि चाइना के हित में क्या है और कैसे आगे बढ़ाना. पूरी तरीके से सिस्टम अच्छा है इनका. और इकोनॉमिक प्लेनम अक्टूबर में होना था, अभी तक हो नहीं पाया. क्यों? क्योंकि उसके रिपोर्ट में होता कि भाई सब कुछ खराब है, अगर बहुत सुधार की जरूरत है, अगर आप बहुत सुधार लाना चाहते हो, ठीक है, बिना कोई वजह के, तो आपका इकोनॉमी खराब है, फिर आपका गवर्नमेंट के ऊपर आंच आएगा और इंटरनली इसके जी जिनपिंग खतरा में होगा. ये कम्युनिस्ट सिस्टम का तरीका है. राइट. इसने प्लेनम होल्ड ही नहीं किया, इकोनॉमिक प्लेनम अभी जुलाई में होने वाला है। इसका एक अंदेशा यह है कि जुलाई तक इसका इकोनॉमी बदल जाएगा, कुछ सुधार के आसार होंगे, क्योंकि आपको पता है पिछले महीने इसने न्यू प्रोडक्टिव फोर्सेस का कहानी रटा। हमने भी आपको बताया न्यू प्रोडक्टिव फोर्सेस की टेक्नोलॉजी, ये वो कहानी। तो हिज होप कि ये है इसका आशा कि जुलाई तक कुछ सुधार आएगा इनका अर्थव्यवस्था में, फिर ये प्लेनम करेगा। वो कहां से आगे ले जाएगा, देखते हैं क्या बात करेगा, ये होगा कि नहीं, मेरे को तो डाउट लग रहा है। वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग। ये अगेन दिस ग्राफ इज बाय द चाइना स्टैटिस्टिक्स ब्यूरो or whatever their national statistics bureau, दिखाता हूँ full. What does this say? Very interesting. Yeah, it is data wrapper. Data wrapper is their national thing. He says mainland China's top 10 trading partners from 96 to 2023 countries and regions. He is talking of Russia, United States, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, Germany, Australia, Hong Kong, Vietnam and Malaysia. फ्रॉम 2000 से लेकर 2020 तक अगर आप देखेंगे सारे ट्रेड बढ़ रहा है। ओके, फिर देखिए 2020 कोविड के बाद फ्लैटलाइन हो गया, पिछले 2 साल से डाउन है सबका, सिर्फ रशिया के ऊपर। तो इनका ट्रेड, ग्लोबल ट्रेड डाउन है। अगर इनका ग्लोबल ट्रेड डाउन है, अंदर प्रॉब्लम है, तो ये जाएंगे कहां? People say, oh, China will recover. A lot of people say China will recover. How will it recover? I don't know. I mean, I don't see it recovering. पिछले 2 साल से तो हम बोल रहे हैं कि भाई रिकवर नहीं होगा। इनफैक्ट मैंने तो 4 साल पहले ही बोल दिया कि ये रिकवर नहीं होगा, और फिर मैं जस्टिफाई कर रहा हूं कि क्यों नहीं रिकवर हो रहा है। 4 साल पहले जब कोविड हुआ था और इंडिया के अगेंस्ट इन्होंने ये जो भी आक्रमण किया था, और इन्होंने पूरा कोविड का में जो इनका रवैया था, जिस तरीके से इन्होंने चैलेंज किया अमेरिका को उस वक्त, उसी वक्त मैंने बोला कि भैया ये देखो चाइना को डुबो देंगे सब, चाइना कहीं नहीं जा रहा है। और ये ऑन रिकॉर्ड है। आप टॉक्स आदि का चैनल में देखिए, जब वो शुरू अर्थ कर रहा था तब उस वक्त मैंने बताया उसको, जब मैं उसको हेल्प कर रहा था, और मैंने लिखा भी है, प्रिंट में लिखा है मैंने, अपना फाइनेंशियल एक्सप्रेस में लिखा है, बहुत जगह मैंने लिखा है, अपने खुद के ब्लॉग में लिखा है कि चाइना का अर्थव्यवस्था डिक्लाइन होगा, और वो हो रहा है अभी। आप जीडीपी को पंप प्राइम कितने भी कर लो, आप कितने भी बोल दो, मैं भी बोलूंगा कल इंडिया का जीडीपी 21 मिलियन है, वो सच क्या है उसमें? सो आई हैव नो डाउट, बट लोगों में शक है कि भाई चाइना है, सब कुछ कर देगा, वो ड्रैगन है तो चिपकली। बट आई हैव बीन कंप्लीटली प्रूविंग इट टू एवरीवन फॉर द पास्ट 4 years। 4 साल से मैं सबको बता रहा हूं। इनफैक्ट सीपीसी का मैंने 6 साल पहले बता दिया कि ये टफ होगा, क्योंकि लॉजिक होना चाहिए कोई भी संबंध में, कोई भी प्रयत्न में। ओके, सेंटिमेंट, बिजनेस सेंटिमेंट plunges to all time low। दिस इज एन ईयू चेंबर ऑफ कॉमर्स। अगर ईयू चेंबर ऑफ कॉमर्स बोलता है कि ऑल टाइम लो है, तो व्हाई विल चाइना बी अलाउड टू सेल इलेक्ट्रॉनिक व्हीकल्स इन यूरोप? सोचने वाली बात है। ओके, एंड लुक एट व्हाट दे से, दिस इज इंटरेस्टिंग। Right? He says annual business confidence survey of European firms operating in China paints a bleak economic outlook with never before seen levels of pessimism, right? Setting a negative cycle in motion. Findings suggest that China is no longer the obvious choice for all. This is important. No more the obvious choice for all. वो इसीलिए मैंने उसको highlight किया। while regions such as Southeast Asia and India are increasingly becoming more appealing. आप खुद देख लीजिए, ये उनका राय है। यूरोप का राय जो मेरे को नहीं पता, कहीं वो चाइना वाले खुद बता रहे हैं। इनका इसका मतलब अगर चाइना वाले को ये आफत आ गया कि खुद बता रहा है ये सब कुछ, फिर इनका हालत क्या है एक्चुअल। ओके, दिस रिपोर्ट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। आई मेरे को ये भी नहीं, आई मीन, if this had to be reported, there's something seriously wrong. Okay, what does he say? He says Chinese scholars suggest official line between entrepreneurs, capitalists to jolt private sector spirit. तो ये राइट, इसका मतलब ये है कि वहां के पढ़े लिखे लोग बोल रहे हैं कि भैया ये प्राइवेट सेक्टर को थोड़ा मदद कर लो, नहीं तो हम डूब जाएंगे। ये वहां के, ठीक सरल भाषा में बोलूं तो उन्होंने क्या बोला? Scholars have called on the government and Communist Party to formally differentiate entrepreneurs from capitalists for resurgence of the non-state sector. क्योंकि अभी जोर पूरा स्टेट सेक्टर के ऊपर शी जिनपिंग का, उसको प्राइवेट इंडस्ट्री से कोई लेना देना नहीं है। There's an ideological bias against millions of business owners and wealthiest individuals. Some go so far as to call the elimination of private sector overnight, outright. ये जो कहानी एक्चुअली चाइना में कब तकरीबन 2 साल पहले शुरू हुआ कि जितने कैपिटलिस्ट हैं, जिसके पास पैसा है, इनको आउट कर दो, इनका पैसा जब्त कर लो। ऑनलाइन शुरू हुआ था एक्चुअली पहले ये, एंड एट दैट टाइम ये जितने जिनके पास जितना पैसा था, वो उनको पता नहीं चल रहा था कि ये पैसा लेके कहां जाए, राइट और दैट इज वाई ये जैक मा शैक मा इन सबको अंदर कर दिया इसमें। Beijing took action to curb disorderly expansion of capital as part of common prosperity. बड़ा क्लियर है, कॉमन प्रॉस्पेरिटी, अमीरों से पैसा लो और गरीबों में बांट दो। पर बात यह है कि चाइना में ये नहीं हो रहा। अमीरों को से पैसा तो ले रहे हैं, गरीबों में नहीं दे रहे हैं। ये मिलिट्री में खर्च करे जा रहे हैं, क्योंकि लोग गरीब हो ही जा रहे हैं। वो अभी बताऊंगा मैं। अभी द टर्म कैपिटलिस्ट इज डेरोगेटरी इन चाइना। ऑफिशियली इट इज अ सोशलिस्ट कंट्री। कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अपहोल्ड्स पब्लिक ओनरशिप एज द मेनस्टे ऑफ इकोनॉमिक हायरार्की। यानी कि प्राइवेट ओनरशिप है ही नहीं इनका कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में। ये वापस शी जिनपिंग उस ओर लेके जा रहा है, राइट। The private property rights were enshrined in the 2004 amendment to the country's founding document, but the non-state sector remains relegated. This is a character change which is happening. ये बड़ा important article है। ये पहले बार मैंने मिस कर दिया था, फिर मेरे को दोबारा पढ़ना पड़ा। इसमें क्या है? तकरीबन 72 तक एक प्योर कम्युनिस्ट कंट्री था, जहां कोई प्राइवेट ओनरशिप बिल्कुल नहीं था। आज भी लैंड के ऊपर किसी का ये नहीं है। लैंड जहां जितना लैंड चाइना में है वो सब गवर्नमेंट का है। अब स्टेट सेक्टर बढ़ रहा है, प्राइवेट वालों को दबा रहा है ये, और उनके पास जितना पैसा है वो लेके बाकियों को देना चाह रहा है। ओके, 72 तक ये बिल्कुल कम्युनिस्ट कंट्री था। 72 से लेकर 93 94 तक ये रिफॉर्म्स ओपनिंग वगैरह हुआ। धीरे धीरे एक एक एट अ काइंड ऑफ अ कैपिटलिस्ट कंट्री बन गया, बट ड्रिवन बाय अ कम्युनिस्ट apparatus। गवर्नमेंट कम्युनिस्ट था, पर लोगों में थोड़ा कैपिटलिज्म शुरू हो गया। 2000 से लेकर 2014-15 तक बिल्कुल ये कैपिटलिस्ट इकोनॉमी बन गया, बट अगेन कम्युनिस्ट कंट्रोल। पूरा देश was going out of control of the communists, तो वापस कम्युनिज्म लेके आ रहे। This is the first time I'm seeing such a discussion coming out, इसका मतलब क्या है? ये वापस जिस तरीके से पहले था, ये वापस जाएंगे। इसका मतलब इट्स समथिंग लाइक सोवियत यूनियन था जब ब्रेकअप से पहले, उस दिशा में जा रहे हैं। So slowly, private sector is being killed, public sector will come, और लोग गरीब होते जाएंगे, और ये निश्चित है, और इट कैनॉट बी टर्न बैक। दिस इज हैपनिंग। आप आज लिख के ले लीजिए, इसके बारे में हम 6 महीने या 1 साल के बाद दोबारा बात करेंगे, और इनका हालत देखेंगे। ओके ओके। इसके साथ साथ there is a change in the Chinese society which is very interesting. What is this? Article by a lady on the demography of China. इसमें क्या बोलती हैं ये बोलती हैं कि जब वन चाइल्ड पॉलिसी आया था, तो दे वांटेड टू स्टॉप बर्थ्स, राइट, और वन चाइल्ड पॉलिसी के तहत तो इन्होंने क्या दिया, सबको कॉन्डम्स वगैरह देना शुरू कर दिया कि भाई आप मजे ले लो, कुछ भी ले लो, बच्चा पैदा मत करो। और इससे क्या है, लड़कियां फ्री हो गई, धीरे धीरे सेक्स करते हैं मजे के लिए, पर उसका जो रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि एक फैमिली को पालना है, बच्चों को पैदा करना है, एक नेचुरल सिस्टम है हमारे एक मनुष्य का, उसका रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इन्होंने लेना बंद कर दिया। धीरे धीरे वो सोच ही बदली हो गया। उससे क्या है, चाइना का सोसाइटी जो है बदल गया। बहुत लोग बोलते हैं जैसे जैसे एक देश विकसित होता जाएगा, आबादी उसका सीमित होता जाएगा, लोग बच्चे कम पैदा करते हैं, और कम शादियां होती हैं। ये बात सही है, कोई भी विकसित देश में ये प्रॉब्लम है, पर चाइना में ये स्पेशल प्रॉब्लम है। ये जैसे इनका विकास हुआ वो तो इफेक्ट है ही, पर इनका वन चाइल्ड पॉलिसी डबल, तो इनका डबल वैमी हो गया। उससे क्या है, पूरा देश का सोच बदल गया। सो आप देखते हैं कि इस पीरियड में दो तरीके का सोच बदल गया। एक तो पूरा सोसाइटल चेंज ऑफ माइंड कि बच्चा पैदा नहीं करना, शादी नहीं करना है, नहीं करना है, बस आप कुछ भी कर लो। जी जिनपिंग पैदा कर सकता है 3 बच्चे इस उम्र में, अगर कर सकता है तो। उनके लड़कियां नहीं करना चाहते हैं, उनको छूट दे दिया गया। ये है कि अल्लादीन का जिन्न है, उसको वो लैम्प से निकाल लिया, वापस नहीं जाएगा। ये बड़ा विचित्र आर्टिकल है। इसके साथ साथ आप देखिए, अभी जो पिछले जो मैंने बताया उसके बारे में थोड़ा गौर कीजिए। जो मैंने बताया कि इनका कम्युनिस्ट ओर जा रहे हैं, तो ये क्या हो रहा है, ये वापस कम्युनिज्म में जा रहे हैं, पर आबादी घट रहा है। इसका परिणाम क्या होगा अभी नहीं पता है इनको, अभी किसी को कोई बात भी नहीं करेगा। आप 3-4 साल में देखिए क्या कहानी होगा चाइना के अंदर। ओके, चाइना का मिडिल क्लास स्ट्रेस्ड है, इनके खुद का एडमिशन के मुताबिक, राइट। यहां तक मानसिक चिकित्सा का जो व्यापार है वो बढ़ रहा है, साइकोलॉजी। अगर मानसिक चिकित्सा का व्यापार बढ़ रहा है तो लोग स्ट्रेस्ड हैं ही ना। ये बड़ा वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग। और फिर इनके जो गवर्नमेंट जो हर एक प्रोविंस का गवर्नमेंट है, वो जॉब्स कट कर रहे हैं, ठीक है। जी जिनपिंग ने तो बोल दिया सबको कि भाई आप साइंस के ऊपर जोर दो। साइंस के ऊपर जोर देने के लिए पैसा लगना पड़ता है। वो पैसा लगाने के लिए प्रोविंसेस क्या करेंगे, वो जॉब नौकरियां काट रहे हैं और वो पैसा लेके साइंस में दे रहे हैं। पैसा तो उतना ही है इनके पास, वैसा है ही नहीं। इससे पता चलता है कि अंदरूनी हिसाब किताब क्या है। आप देखो तो अंदरूनी हिसाब किताब धीरे 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 डाउन हो रहा है। इसी से एक दिन क्रांति आएगा, अगर आएगा तो। पर वो उसके लिए मैं अभी वो है ही नहीं। पर व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू डू इज आई एम मार्किंग द डिक्लाइन ऑफ चाइना. Internal decline is most important. Jobs, anxious job seekers stuck in a rat race, forced to lie flat, वो क्या वो tangping, as unemployment remains a headache for Beijing. Right. ये देखिए big tech. Why many overworked employees are quitting to become entrepreneurs and amid internet slowdown? Very simple. ये जो प्राइवेट लोगों के ऊपर दबाव है, जो पहले मैंने बताया, इसीलिए वो लोगों को आउट कर रहे हैं नौकरी से। उनका मुनाफा है ही नहीं, तो वो क्यों रखेंगे? वो जा रहे हैं तो लोग अपना कुछ, और नौकरी नहीं मिल रहा है इनको, तो छोटे मोटे बिजनेस कारोबार शुरू कर रहे हैं। वो कहां तक ले जाएगा इनको? ओके, गेन वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग। ये ऑफिशियल सेंट्रल बैंक, पीपल्स बैंक ऑफ चाइना का सर्वे किया है। ओके, he says precarious job market, low consumption demand still weighing in economy. इसका वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, इसका फाइंडिंग्स थोड़ा पढ़ते हैं। क्या है? इधर 20,000 रेजिडेंट्स अक्रॉस 50 सर्विस सिटीज सर्वेड। ये पीपल्स बैंक ऑफ चाइना का है ऑफिशियल। इंडिकेट्स कंटिन्यूड चैलेंजेस। 46.5% से जॉब सिचुएशन इन जनवरी फरवरी मार्च एज प्रेकेरियस, uncertain, hard to be employed. Only 10.5% say easy to find a job, and that employment situation is better. तो अब आंकड़े बड़ा क्लियर है, उनके खुद के आंकड़े, मेरा घर का थोड़ी ना। Nearly 42% felt macroeconomic fundamentals such as jobs and supply and demand were beginning to cool. Many expecting fewer orders. कारोबार टफ हो रहा है। 70% of urban residents surveyed said their income had remained unchanged. अगर वेतन में इजाफा नहीं हो तो कंज्यूम कैसे करेंगे, कैसे जिएंगे ये? 62% said they intend to save more, बचाना चाहिए। क्यों? उनको आगे अनिश्चितता दिखाई दे रहा है। Public spending remained sluggish with less than a quarter of responding choosing to spend more. तो खर्च भी नहीं करना चाहते। ओके, सब बोलते हैं प्रॉपर्टी प्रॉपर्टी डाउन है। प्रॉपर्टी डाउन हुआ तो स्टील सेक्टर भी डाउन होने वाला है। ये बोलते हैं चाइना स्टील इंडस्ट्री रिस्क फॉलिंग ऑफ a cliff as over capacity concerns point to an end of an era. पहले प्रॉपर्टी टप हुआ, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर भी धीरे धीरे बंद हो रहा है, सिर्फ वो कंप्लीट कर रहे हैं। फिर इनका स्टील इंडस्ट्री जो चाइना का दुनिया में सबसे बड़ा है, अगर वो भी टप हो गया तो फिर क्या बचा है चाइना के अंदर? चाइना इज येट टू जॉइन द रिच कंट्री क्लब। ये सोच रहे हैं अभी भी ख्वाब है इनको कि वो अमीर बन जाएंगे। इसका क्या क्या कहानी है? राइट, सी चाइना's 2023 में चाइना's ग्रॉस नेशनल इनकम पर कैपिटा was $12,597 last year. It was more than 1,000 behind the international threshold. So, which is international threshold of rich country is 13,845. Last year it was 12,597. But in 2021 it was just $150 away from that threshold. 2 साल पहले इनका थ्रेशोल्ड से बिल्कुल बगल में था to become a rich country. So now they've gone back. यही आंकड़े अगर अगले साल देखेंगे तो और पीछे जाएंगे। आप देखिए, बाकी जब वेतन नहीं बढ़ रहा है तो ये रिच कंट्री कैसे बनेगा? गरीबी आने वाला है। क्या है? Brace for third wave of China bond defaults amid high financing costs, slow growth. So the first will be all the private companies' bond will default and go fat. प्रॉपर्टी के बॉन्ड्स तो ऑलरेडी टप हो गए. Private companies will go. Next state. Why will state systems default? Because he's spending too much money on unnecessary things which will not give him any return. Defense spending is quite a bit. Infrastructure spending is still going on. He's spending on all space, technology, ये वो जिसमें return of income है ही नहीं. We don't know. And where is he getting money from? It's a very nice cycle. Just think. I don't want to invest in stocks. I don't want to invest in property. I'm an old man. I have money, which is for my old age. Where will I keep bank? Bank में क्या करूँगा? Savings. Savings में मेरे को ज़्यादा पैसा नहीं मिलेगा. Okay. What is the country doing? Xi Jinping and gang government, like every other country, वो मार्केट से पैसा उठाते हैं उनके फंड्स को करने के लिए. लाइक आरबीआई के बॉन्ड्स आउट करते हैं, हर गवर्नमेंट करता है. तो वो कहाँ से आ रहा है? मेरा सेविंग से आ रहा है. बैंक उठाएंगे पैसा. तो जो मेरा जो सेविंग्स अकाउंट में है चाइना के बैंक में, वो चाइना के गवर्नमेंट को दे रहे हैं. उसके बदले हमें उनको बॉन्ड मिल रहा है. वो बॉन्ड मेरे को तोपा जा रहा है. या मैं अपना पैसा जाके सीधा बॉन्ड ले लूं. वो बॉन्ड का कीमत क्या होगा 5 साल के बाद? उसका एक मिसाइल तो बन जाएगा, पर वो बॉन्ड से आपको क्या फायदा है? आपको मिलेगा नहीं, क्योंकि आगे जाके ये पैसा और लेते जाएंगे और धीरे 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 इनके लोग जो है और गरीब होते जाएंगे. नौकरी है ही नहीं, खर्च करने का स्तोमत है ही नहीं, बैंक में पैसा लगा रहे हैं. ऑलरेडी बॉन्ड डिफॉल्ट हो गया. जिसका बॉन्ड डिफॉल्ट हो गया वो पैसा तो गया. प्राइवेट सेक्टर का बॉन्ड सारे डिफॉल्ट हैं. तो रहा क्या? एक आम चाइनीज के पास सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट का बॉन्ड बचा है. और वो गवर्नमेंट का बॉन्ड लेके कल जी जिनपिंग उसके ऊपर टेंगा बोल देगा, वो तो बात खत्म. ये देखिए डॉलराइजेशन की बात हो रही है. सारे बोलते हैं कि भाई डी डॉलराइजेशन हो रहा है, और ये क्या बोलते हैं? चाइना एक्सपोर्टर शन द यूएन. जो चाइना के खुद के एक्सपोर्टर को यूएन नहीं चाहिए, उसको चाहिए डॉलर. या डिप्लोमेटिकली बोला सीक ऑल्टरनेट करेंसीज वगैरह, बट एक्चुअली दे वांट डॉलर्स, क्योंकि यूएन का वैल्यू गिरे जा रहा है. तो हकीकत क्या है, हमें सोचना चाहिए. लास्ट, लोग अभी सिर्फ चाइना में सोना खरीद रहे हैं और कुछ कर नहीं सकते. तो ये है एक्चुअली चाइना का हकीकत. फंसा है. ओके. सो बहुत सवाल हैं, हम लेंगे आज. सिर्फ चाइना के ऊपर ही नहीं, किसी सब्जेक्ट के ऊपर आप पूछ सकते हो. ओके. सबसे पहले ललित नारायण, थैंक यू फॉर योर कंट्रीब्यूशन, सो ग्रेटफुल टू यू. मैं बताना चाहता हूँ, जो आप लोग कंट्रीब्यूट करते रहते हो ऐसे, जो भी मेरे को ये इस चैनल से पैसा मिल रहा है, जैसे मैं बार बार बताता रहता हूँ, मैं ये पैसा जो है बच्चों के कुछ जो अपना those who can't educate themselves, girl children, उनको मैं फीस देता हूँ. और खुशखबरी ये है मेरे को और आपको भी, क्योंकि एक लड़की जो 10th स्टैंडर्ड पास हुई है अभी, तकरीबन 82% मार्क्स के साथ, गरीब कराने का है, उसके लिए 82% बहुत है। उसका पिताजी ने कल मेरे से बात किया, सर आपने कुछ मदद किया हमें, तो उसको 82% मिल गया। मैंने कहा फिक्र मत करो, आगे बढ़ाओ, आगे भी और मार्क पाना है। तो आई थॉट आई शेयर विद ऑल ऑफ यू। छोटी चीज है, बहुत लोग बोलेंगे यार सिर्फ 80%, बट एक गरीब परिवार के लिए अगर अपना लड़की 10th में 82-83% अगर मिल गया तो एक बड़ा उपलब्धि है, राइट। और मैं उनको उसको सीधा ज्ञान नहीं दे सकता। आपको ज्ञान देके, आपसे पैसा लेके, उसको पैसा देके उसको मैं कुछ मदद कर सकता हूँ। और वैसे भी मैंने ऐसे बता दिया, ये पहले भी हम करते थे। सो आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट मोर टू सब्सक्राइब, मोर टू ज्वाइन मी एज मेंबर्स, क्योंकि मेंबरशिप यहाँ बड़ा सस्ता है, इसीलिए उसका भी मैंने ज्यादा रखा नहीं। वो एक्चुअली एक तरीके से चंदा ही मांग रहा हूँ मैं, और उससे क्या है कि इनका गुजर जाएगा, क्योंकि जैसे एक इनका क्लास बढ़ता जाता है फीस भी बढ़ता जाता है, बट दैट्स ओके, विल पे। Okay, I'll now take questions, right? And get your friends on. Okay, yeah. I've heard Vijay Gokhale and Elon Musk say many other thing. Others says China's infrastructure is more beautiful and better than China, better than USA. Yeah, I agree with you, Amitesh. They would be because ये तो नया है. It's new, so infrastructure, and they've built infrastructure. Let's be fair to them. They built infrastructure. What they have done wrong is they built overbuilt. They built a lot of infrastructure which no one needs and they can't use. That's the waste. Otherwise, it's good. Okay, plan. Can you do a program with more content of modern technologies we need for our armed forces, and then detailed ones covering one or few to form a series? Yeah, I'm going to do that. Let me explain this. Every year there is all army officers who want to go up and do well in life have appear for the Defense Services Staff College entrance exam. It's a competitive exam, incidentally, 6 papers. One of them is science and military technology. And so this year, I'm going to do a series for them about 2 or 3 continuously on effect of technology on war and how military technology and all that. I'm going to do it at the end of the month. Go through that. You join in. I'll give advance notice उसके लिए अगले 1-2 दिन में मैं उसका program out कर दूंगा, and I will put it out in the environment. All of you can get most of your friends into that, and after that, in the course of and I'm going to keep those open-ended. I'll talk for 1 hour, and then any number of questions. So any questions which come on specific technologies, I'll tackle them. Right? I'll tackle them at my own time in peace. But I will do it. I'll have programs on it. This is given. Okay. Short interventions like those at clause are not clear. Please take your own time. No hurry. I'm glad that you're the first person who's saying take your time to explain. I'll do that. But I thought I'll put across those clause interventions because the one which I put out today gives you what army is doing. I mean, if you have not seen it, all of you, please see it. On contemporary technology and industry development and all that, where the Director General Capability Development has said in figures how things are changing in the army. We say ना आर्मी में क्या नया टेक्नोलॉजी जा रहा है, नहीं जा रहा है, वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह। उस वीडियो को देखिए, आपको पता चलेगा कि क्या कहानी है आज का। You see, the thing is, you have to be patient and go through all these interventions. But that intervention is very good. I would recommend all of you to see it. Okay, how can we as general public help to convey to our government the need to increase defense budget, focus on thorium as source of energy, need for technology? Look, if this channel becomes widespread and popular, then of course I can convey it. As it is, I'm right, and you have to write, or you have to go on public platforms and speak. Get your friends, more friends, come here and right. Otherwise, how will the government know? I'm doing what I can, but the government. Uh, as far as the government is concerned, I'm a person who's a interested party. जैसे यार ये फौजी है ये सिर्फ फौज के लिए बात कर रहा है. The requirement of the nation should go from the nation. You go wherever you want to say, you say. You tell, put it up in newspapers. You go and through your associations, write to your MP, write to the prime minister, write to the defense minister, whomever you want. Unless they get feedback from you, if this is where we should go. Why are we not doing this? Tell your MP. Write to him and ask him to ask a question in parliament. Why is he not asking? वो सिर्फ लेने के लिए आएगा क्या? अभी बनेंगे नए एमपी, उनको लिखिए आप. और ये करते हैं इंसिडेंटली. Okay, Democrats need Muslim votes, and so playing a double game, anti-Israel and on the face of it, and supplying arms underneath. Let America do what it wants. Why are we bothered? Can you invite someone X from BRO to explain to us? Yeah, I'll call. But yeah, I'll call. I'll tell you about border road developments to what. There's not a problem. Yeah, Democrats and all are out. Yeah, we through yourself and others get to know about the open weaknesses of China, but we need to more know about their hidden strengths. Your views. Look, we know their strengths. Their strengths are publicized by themselves, and everyone talks of it. A lot of American people talk of China's strengths because when they talk of China's strengths, they're looking for budgets from their own place. A lot of people in China write which are sponsored by the defense industrial complex, military industrial complex. So the strengths of China are enough. आप कोई भी मैगजीन खोल के देखिए, सब बोलेंगे strengths of China. So what is not known is the weakness of China. That's why I focus on that. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Hind, Jai Hind, Jai Hind. Yeah, do you think China appointing the ambassador to India signals that they are ready for a solution on the standoff, since they are like to signal in very subtle ways? But the fellow is a wolf warrior, so let us see. I mean, it's too early. They're not doing it's not a signal after 17 months or 18 months to say we are sending an ambassador to you, and that too you send a wolf warrior. He might be a hardliner, so too early to talk of this. Yeah, you mentioned India is taking 40% advantage of the positive geopolitical situation. Can you please summarize what is a positive and what did India 40% and miss? Yeah, look, I will put it this way. Have we taken complete, 40% is just a rough figure. Have we taken complete advantage of the current geopolitical situation? We have not. We have missed out on a lot of things, right? One thing which we missed out, I think, quite a bit, is in this kickstarting a dual use cycle or the civil military fusion. The next thing which which we have missed out, is in giving good terms and conditions to our neighbors and Southeast Asia. We're not been outgoing. Okay. We started IMEC, but that's in problems. But we have not made any effort to take IMEC beyond. What about our outreach to Africa? That's limited. You see, uh, take the case of USA. USA has got a lot of power. It, it is well known. There are certain doors which USA can open in the global south. but certain doors are closed to USA. But the doors which are closed to USA are open to India. Trust. This is your biggest thing. Your culture, your civilizational connect. So if you and we and USA, which is a strategic partnership, which we have a strategic partnership, both of us can handle global south and push China out. Have we done that? No. Why have we not done Atmanirbharta in a better manner to reduce dependence on China in a time-bound manner? Just mark my words. I don't know what will be the outcome of the elections. Okay? But if the current government, uh, if it's a big if, anything can happen in India, doesn't get the kind of majority it has now, all these questions which I'm asking will come up. Because people will say, what is the palpable output of whatever has happened? It's good to say GDP has grown, ye wo all. Output kya hai? People will ask. Why will people ask? Because I thought this government had the political equity to do more, and it didn't do more. Why it didn't know, but that's okay. Yeah. Okay. Is there a possibility where general public of China raises their voice against CCP if their economy collapses? Is there a chance for Tibet to be free if China becomes democratic? China becoming democratic is far away, but the first part is a possibility. If you see the history of China, uh, empires have changed, empires have risen, empires have fallen, power has changed throughout the last century till the communist movement came. They were in a turmoil. So don't rule out turmoil. But when will that turmoil happen is not at there. Let's be very clear that it's not at there. It will take, my guess is the period 30 to 35, 2030 to 2035 is critical. Anything can happen. And if these Chinese get into a war by then, whether they win or lose, they're going to have problems then. It will hasten. If Xi Jinping is smart, he'll not get China into a war. And he'll start focusing internally. But then who knows? For better, Bharat and China relations would compulsorily require China to vacate Tibet and declare it as a separate station as a first step. Presently, we are in a state of war. We are in a state of war, but I don't think China will ever vacate Tibet. So that's the dream. Let's be very clear. China will not vacate Tibet. Okay. So unless there's a revolution in China, China is the most investable country. ये बेवकूफ है यार. ये चाइना वाला है, ये सोचता है ये look, Gutsi, China is the most investable country in the world according to the UN report. I agree with you. But your own chap says you're not investable. Who are you fooling? Yeah, yeah. Gutsi. रसल दर. चाइना में सिर्फ डेमोक्रेसी लाना है, बाकी सब कुछ चाइना में अपना आप होगा. देखते हैं. या सत श्री अकाल हिरोनमय. What do you make of protests against US universities? I'm perplexed as 99% of these students don't have anything to do with Gaza. What is it about Gaza that sells the Tibet onto them? Yeah, it's an important question, right? It is the Muslim population and immigrant population in USA, plus the fact that a lot of US business is connected with the Middle East. So a lot of people go there, and a lot of their their professors and their lecturers and all have got exposed to Middle East. Not now, for a long time. So, and their commitment to Israel is also quite a bit, right from now for the past 1 century. So these issues are live issues for American society. They're more live than what happens in Tibet. You also have to understand it's only in the past 3-4 years that China is their adversary. Before that, China was their friend. China was their friend earlier also. If you see in the Second World War, China, People's Republic, the nationalist China was their friend. It's only in the period from 1940s, late 40s to 72 that China and USA were apart from each other. After that, they're friendly to China. And now they've gone different. So it is at one point of time, USA was supporting Tibetans. When China became its friend, they dropped Tibetans. So that is why there's no resonance of Tibet thing there. And why blame them? Let's blame ourselves. We let the Tibetans down. I have no doubt about it. After the 2003 agreement, we became friendly with China and tolerated whatever is happening in Tibet. If we didn't recognize Tibet in 2003, just think where China will be by now. Then you have the whole equation would have been different. Well, yeah, people might be happy with POK protests and it is important to reclaim our land. But what risk do we have vis-a-vis the people? Their ideology, upbringing will not gel with us, I feel. I agree with you completely. There is no point in wasting time with POK at this point of time. We should use POK to trouble Pakistan, like they've troubled us with Kashmir. Let Pakistan break on its own and let POK say we want to join you. Then let them join us on our terms, not on. We shouldn't go and say please join us. Yeah, sir. All these things about China are not reported in the West. They still think China is going to replace USA as number one. When I try to tell Indians in the West, non-Indians reply calling me, Partha, I agree with you. It's very difficult to swim against the current. The general public doesn't know. America needs an enemy. And today, China is the enemy. The threat they have generated is a self-defeating prophecy. That's okay. Let them do what they want. For us, it's a matter that it's a national issue. We have to be very clear what China is. Only then you will be able to assess how you want to deal with China. If you think that China is very strong, your dealing will be different. If you think that China is weak, your dealing will be different. If you think China is a normal country, your dealing will be difficult. How will you know which state China is in unless you analyze it? Many of our scholars, many fall in two categories. One category is that who has been exposed to China, who lived in China, who know China, and who are enamored by China, and China has bought them. They'll always say China is better. The second is those who read the Western narratives. I also read Western narratives. It's not as if I don't read the Western narratives. They read the Western narratives, get impressed, and feel China is great. The middle one, who make an independent assessment of China, are very few in this country. And we don't read China enough. That's the problem. What do you make of China buying a lot of gold? I don't understand the worry or hype, whatever it is. Plus, why US is not de-risking to the extent it wanted to. Xi regularly meets US CEOs. See, first and foremost, China buying a lot of gold is people are worried. If I have a flat, I can't sell it. It's of no use. My money in the bank is unsafe. So what will I do? I'll buy gold and keep it at home. That's normal. That's their problem, actually. US cannot de-risk from China easily. Okay. Uh, if US cuts off from the Chinese economy, the US economy will also collapse. There, a lot of things are going on between them. So that won't happen in a hurry, right? But in core sectors, they'll hit China. Slowly, the dependence will have to come down. A dependence which has built over the past 20, 25 years will take another 10 to 15 years to come off. It's not going to happen overnight. Okay. Z meets US CEOs regularly to ask them to invest in China, but no one has done that. Okay. Thanks a lot, Akash, for that girl. Yeah, that's what I think you're talking about. What are the ammunition which India imports from other countries? Yeah, you import some tank ammunition from Russia. You import some air defense ammunition from other countries, basically where your equipment is from others. Same thing goes for your naval armament, where some of those, ammunition is from East European countries. So you get that. That's the ammunition you get from abroad. Okay, given that China is in such a bad fix, why is India wooing? Why is USA wooing India to contain China? Look, China is in a bad fix. That doesn't mean it is weak. Remember that. Be very clear. China is in a bad fix. Does not mean it has collapsed or it is declining. The problem with China is whenever China has become weaker, it has become troublesome. That's one part of the story. The second part of the story is Xi Jinping is not bothered about the economy. He wants military, diplomacy, and technology. And he wants his surrounding countries and those countries of the Belt and Road to do more trade with him. He wants to get trading through mercantile methods, through colonial methods. ठीक है, गन दिखाओ और बोलो मेरे साथ ट्रेड करोगे आप. That is the problem. That is why you want to contain. If you allow him out, he'll go all over the world, establish a Sinocentric world order, and then force you to trade with him. That is the route for Xi Jinping. Yeah, I've told you this. Really a great initiative helping girls. Thank you. Yeah. I've been doing it now for even before I started this channel. Hopefully, with this channel, I'll be able to do more. We've seen reports of Russia using rupees it had in India to invest into various things and buying stuff from us and more and more. Can we expect their support against China? No. Let me be very categoric. I don't expect China to support us against China. It has never done so. At best, at a point of time, it will help mediating with China, but it will not help us against China. It will not help China against India also. That's the thing which I've seen over the past few years. So it's a game we have to play. Russia is a hedge against China to convey messages, everything. Russia uses India as a hedge against China. So there are other issues in this. It's rumors that BrahMos technology leaked to Pakistan by Honey Trap. Oh no, don't worry. ये सब होने दो. The present geopolitical situation requires high spend on defense for India for the coming decade. Where and when do you see World War III starting? Yeah, very interesting question. I see it starting almost any day. That's the first thing I must tell you. Why? If you look at what's happening in Philippines, I did a program on South China Sea, and now I'm going to do one more probably around 21st, 22nd. Given I have to go to Delhi for my IIT job and all that, I don't know when I'll be able to do it, but I'll do it. Yes, today for the first time I saw an article which said Beijing might take strong measures against Philippines. What strong measures we'll see? We'll make an assessment. If that starts, then you're in a world war. And India has to spend more. Whichever the new government comes, we'll have to start thinking differently. With all the data you have given, China must be in deep recession. It is, there's no doubt. And look, Nitin, let me again clarify. This data is not mine. This data is of China. What areas of interest are China and USA collaborating to give pressure to India? China and USA are not collaborating in any areas to pressurize India. Don't worry. Yeah, kindly make DRDO scientist recruitment process more strong because one scientist of DRDO shared. No, 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 no. Don't worry. He don't worry about all this. This is some all this gitch pitch will continue. Which areas are collaborative? Yeah, this stream. You think like a bloody hockey player. Politics is not hockey game. In a war, you can lose all battle, but still. Sai, the first thing I would like you to say is that don't be condescending. Don't think that we don't know. Okay, I don't know whom you have dealt with, but I have dealt with 6 prime ministers of this country. So uh, I know what I'm talking. Okay, I don't know who you are. I don't know your background. Grant it to me. For an army officer to come in public and take questions like you from you, okay, and run a channel means I have to think differently. I hope you people have thought over what I'm doing. People ask me, why are you doing this? You take any question anyone asks. You go to any other channel, 1 hour they finished off, or for 40 minutes they finished off. I don't do that. I go slow, make people finish the subject, and I force them to answer your questions. There's a reason. It's not like a hockey player. Okay. I don't know whether you dealt with governments. I've been in the government. Okay. I've dealt with more than half a dozen countries. Someday I'll show you. I've also interacted with the vice chief of PLA, number 2 in PLA. I've hosted him for lunch. So don't think one doesn't know what life is. And incidentally, I know politics better than most of you because I've dealt with politicians of all colors. I've conducted elections. I know how things are. But I don't speak. That's a different story. Yeah. I have an old edition of World Book series that showed Tibet as. Yeah. Why didn't you share that to me? Share the maps with me. I'll be grateful. Yeah, we have surely let down Tibetans. Let's say we pull out from 2003 agreement. What will be the fallout? Will we be able to deal with import bans and PLA aggression? He'll want to no teach a lesson and all is out shit. You have to do it slowly. You should never do in a hurry. Anything in a hurry. Do it slowly. Slice by slice, salami slicing. That's the way to go forward. We voted in favor of Palestine getting full UN membership. How will it impact your relations with Israel? Uh, no, and nothing will happen. Don't worry. We have voted for Palestine on certain fundamentals, but at the same time, we have kept our door open with Israel. They understand. Trust. On a lighter note, can you mention the World War II song, The Boots in the Ground. They say they're very fine. Okay. And yeah, someday. Yeah, how does our Air Force stack up against PLAF? Very good. We are much better. Uh, See, you have to understand the terrain is on our side in the Himalayas. So we are. You don't need a fifth generation fighter always. And how many fifth generation? They don't have airfields. They just have about 3 or 4 airfields, and they are at altitude, so they can't function for long. Their turnaround radius will be less, and their carrying capacity also will be less. So they're depleted. Many people say a lot of missiles, Chinese missiles are there. Why are Chinese missiles there? Their Chinese missiles are there because their air force is less. To offset their air force strength, they brought in more missiles. We don't have those problems. Okay, USA has created squad grouping after creating AUKUS and Quad. Is it a sign that USA has not found its footing on containing China? Is India indispensable to US response against China? Yeah, this is a good question, but I have answered this question in great depth when I did India-US relationship takes two to tango with Shreya Ji, P Gurus. Have a look at it. I've explained this question in great detail. Yeah, your lecture at class was fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Kalra. But wait, end of the month, maybe 2 or 3 lectures on technology I'm going to talk. Yeah, apparently Australia might not be given full ownership and control over subs. They'll acquire. What do you make US sub? Too early to talk of all this. पहले इनको they have not put down 1 keel of a sub also. बहुत दूर है. It's going to take 10-15 years. Why can't India copy tech like jet engines, drones, etc. like China? You have to do reverse engineering. Okay, you need to have crystal technology, crystal blades. That's the problem. Jets. Is it true that China wants to give 8 submarines to Pakistan in coming years? Yes, Hangar class submarines, they've sold them already. Uska to deal hai. Proper. Anonymous. Yeah, I'm a great fan of yours. My only wish is the content is 100% English. Yeah, I agree with you, but there are a lot of people who don't understand English completely. So I have to speak in Hindi for them. So that's why I do a mix and match. Who do you think will win World War III? Indeed, break. Yeah, why are you worried about World War III? Pehle to, nothing will happen. Don't worry. So 74 people watching, like 9 likes. Please remember to ask. Oh well, I keep asking people to like, people to press that thing, and people to want to subscribe. And I'm too old to do it regularly, and I don't depend on this for my living. This I do as more of a hobby and a commitment to the nation and to all of you. Let it grow slowly. I'm sure things will happen. I'm trying to speak to TV9 to see with Sandeep Punithan if I can do a joint thing with them. Then maybe things will take off. Don't mind these clowns. I agree with you. That's okay. No, I don't mind Sai also. He's not a clown. He's an okay guy. He's just got his. He must be a young chap who's got his P's and Q's wrong. That's about all. He'll grow. He'll mature. Why is US now meddling so much in Indian elections? Well, that's because you invite them. If you think, and all parties invite them, incidentally. Don't think that only one party. What's the main driver of this? You invite them, they'll come. Why you think there is no support, US support for Mr. Modi? There is. You think that's not visible to us? What is the real news about attacks? Even Armenia has brought this wonderful product. Look, this wonderful product is good for Armenia. It's not good for us. Not good for us in the mountains. And you can't invest so much money into something against Pakistan for which you don't need. You need something good for mountains. This is not good enough for mountains. Okay. Finger red number one. Yeah, yeah. This. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Uh, that's about all I have to tell you. Yeah, fine. What are your thoughts on Fujian? Is it any good or simply overhyped? It's just gone for the first sea trial. A carrier, incidentally, a carrier to be fully operational takes 7 to 10 years. And the biggest problem with China is it doesn't have aircraft. It has an aircraft carrier without an aircraft. Remember that. Okay. And their aircraft, which are there on their current aircraft carriers, are very sluggish. They're not good enough. Okay. Uh, okay. Do international events these days, with respect, Bharat, give any sense on the outcome of elections? Again, or people do this rumor online? Is it true? No, no, I don't think so. Okay, let me tell you something about our elections. When you go into the villages, when you go into remote areas and meet people, they are not bothered about international events. They are bothered about unka roji roti. Okay, so there's a big disconnect between what where people vote and what happens elsewhere. I can talk of international events. National events, they are very clear. And there's another thing which is very clear about our electorate. अब जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ वो हिंदी में बात करूंगा क्योंकि ये मैंने सुना है इसके बारे में। किससे बात कर रहा था कि भाई आप किसको वोट दोगे, तो उसने बोला इनको दूंगा मैं। तो मैंने बोला क्यों? क्योंकि स्टेट इलेक्शन में मैंने उनको दिया था, तो सेंटर के इलेक्शन में इनको दूंगा। मैंने कहा अलग अलग क्यों कर रहे हो यार, दोनों को एक ही क्यों नहीं कर रहे? कहता सब पावर एक ही हाथ में थोड़ी ना दे देंगे सब। वेरी क्लियर, the Indian voter is very clear. He's not bothered of America, Shamerica and all. उसको तो बड़ा clear. He is very clear whom he wants to give vote to. Okay. Yeah. Malik anti-drone from Russia, I don't think we'll get. How good are the Chinese submarines? Uh, Look, so far in the past 5-10 years, we've heard of 2 submarines sinking. That's 2 submarines more than any other country. That's the thing. Okay. Uh, Given a choice between Taiwan and Bharat, China is more likely to invade Bharat for obvious logistical reasons. How likely is the Chinese invasion on Bharat? Uh, Old question. But China cannot invade either Taiwan or Bharat. हाँ, थोड़ा बहुत चूं चूं कर सकता है. They tried it in 2020. They could not make headway. Whatever happened at Yangtze, they got beaten back. Now they don't have that confidence to come back again. And the dynamics today are that if they try an invasion of Bharat, वहां पिट जाएंगे. अगर वहां करेंगे तो यहाँ पिट जाएंगे. That's the thing. Okay. Please collaborate with TV9. It will lead to, yeah, let's see. Can US afford to let Ukraine lose against Russia? Will it get even more powerful weapons? How long can Ukraine last before collapse? Why is US willing to risk World War III? You're fixated on World War III, which is not going to happen unless South China Sea goes and Philippines China gets involved. Look, let me tell you something about Ukraine and Russia, which is contra to everyone thinking. Everyone thinks Russia is beating Ukraine. Ukraine बिगड़ जाएगा. वो तो हो गया, जो भी यूक्रेन को होना है हो गया. Russia cannot take over Ukraine. If it takes over Ukraine, it's an open sore. If it stays there, it's in war. It can't go back. It can't win. Russia can't win. Let me be very clear. Ukraine has lost. Russia can't win. Who's won? USA. Okay, I think we've done with the thing. Thanks a lot. Actually, today, General Atta Hasnain was to come, but he had some meeting lined up because look, he's also in the ministry, he's in the NDMA. So he had to go for the meeting. He said tomorrow he'll come. And so tomorrow we're going to talk of the revival of Pakistan and terrorist threat, both. Yeah, yeah. Tomorrow. It was tomorrow. Tomorrow it will be there. Tomorrow evening. Okay. So we're going to have it. And of course, I'm going to have some interesting discussions next week also. I'm day after tomorrow, Monday, I'm getting one lady from Taiwan to talk about the Taiwan-China relations. Christina Chen. She's a brilliant, I wouldn't say she's a brilliant speaker. She's young, but she's brilliant. Intellectually very brilliant and very clear. I requested her. She's going to come on this thing. And we're going to have some interesting discussions going down the line. Yeah, as usual. Right. Thanks a lot. Good evening and Jai Hind. And see you tomorrow evening.